Hello, my friends. Time to come and watch this little heart go back and forth. And this is going to be the heart that you wear on your sleeve because today was the last day you are ever going to be afraid of what people say when you are out and about and when you are on the internet and when you are in the street and when you are on your emails, when you're talking to customers, when you're talking to family, when you're talking to that person, that special person. You'll never be scared of rejection or violence ever again. Now is the time to stop being a little scaredy pants. Now is the time that you can say whatever you want, whenever you want. And your speech craft is going to go up, 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 because I will it so. And you manifested this video to come forth because you want it. And as they say, if there's a will, there is a way. You don't have to know the way. You already found it by just willing it. You willed me in front of your eyes right now to show you how to open up that throat chakra, open up that heart chakra here, so that you are never fighting for your life, gasping for breath, up, 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 thinking too hard. I'm going to calm this down right here, and you can just say whatever you want, whenever you want. And there are people who are going to really appreciate what you want. They're gathering now and they're waiting for you to step on stage and say exactly. And I said sage instead of stage. That's a sign in itself. Because you have wisdom locked deep inside there that people want to know, they want to find out. They're waiting for you. We've all been waiting for you. Come out, speak. Speak, and it won't be like those times before. When those people told you to speak, but they didn't want you to speak. They were telling you to speak as another dark spell cast upon you. What I'm doing now is undoing those spells. See, people think hypnosis is just to say, you will be like a chicken and then go pop, pop, pop. Actually, usually you use these confusing messages where you tell someone to do something that they want to do, but then you send a negative message at the same time. Subliminally, you could say, or just like in the vibe, or even spoken, that counteracts it. And then in this confused, suggestible state, you kind of input telepathically what you want them to think. And so in the past, usually it's through envy. People have told you to speak up, and express yourself. Be creative, grow up. And what they really mean is to mock you and ignore you and shame you for what you're saying as they're telling you to speak more. They're doing it like a trap. They want to bring it out so they can smash it down, as they say, pearls before swine. But you were just a child, you were just a young one, and now you are older, and you know where to bring out your pearls that you've been hiding. You've been hiding because you've been seeing everyone as a swine. And the actual key to unlocking and unblocking and dispelling this curse that jealous adults put upon you as a child is actually, I don't want to sound like, one of those annoying people, but it is forgiveness in the sense of you will respect people enough to know that they will respect what you have to say. And even the very people who, out of envy, casted a dark spell upon you to make you stop speaking your mind because they knew that you would outshine them if you spoke their mind. You will even find it within your heart to respect them because they even had the common sense to know what's good, didn't they? Because they targeted you specifically. Out of all the others, they themselves know who is talented and who has the good things to say. It was you all along and you know it. And you were just a scared little child, and now you're a big adult. And now they cannot scare you anymore. And if you have to say something, even they will just have to bow their heads in respect, and you will respect them enough that they will respect you now. And even if you're speaking another language that you're not completely fluent in, this video is subliminally reprogramming your brain so that you don't even care if you're understood properly or if misunderstandings happen, because you are not scared to show that you possess some skills. In fact, you possess enough skills to communicate what is essential, even in another language. In this video is subliminally reprogramming your brain to believe and to not get all flustered and choked up when you're trying to speak another language too. And even if you don't speak any other languages, it's still essentially the same concept when you are talking to people on a different wavelength as your closer friends. That you're almost speaking another language, but you're good at speaking the other language. You're good at speaking normie. You're good at speaking normie in whatever language you try to speak it, your native or otherwise. You're actually very good at small talk and good at big talk too. And people want to hear your big talk that you were afraid to speak. You don't have to copy and paste anyone else. People wanted you to be scared to say how you really feel because they didn't want to see you outshine them. It's really that simple. And you've been a bit of a scaredy cat. Scaredy cat. And it's okay to be a scaredy cat. And just do it because there is no shame in being correct. There is no shame in being incorrect either. None of it matters as long as you just say your piece. What can said be unsaid? I was about to say, what is said can actually be unsaid. They tell you once you say something, you can never take it back. But actually, funnily enough, it is surprisingly easy to take back what you said because people just want the reality that they want. And if you go back and say, I didn't mean to say that, I actually meant to say this, then people will actually just accept that. And the people who won't accept that, well, they were never going to accept anything, actually. They're just not accepting. And those people will also just be exposed by your own words when you're just speaking. So what you say says more about them than what it says about yourself when you are speaking. And I'm not really making total sense here. This is on purpose because this is to confuse your mind and make you stop being a little pussy scaredy cat. Because I just have to trick you into it. It's just like when Jesus cures that one guy And it's like this big complicated process. He has to get some mud and spit on it and like put it on his eyes and his ears and all this stuff. It's a very complicated process because, and when he brings the guy to life, all he does is just boop and he brings him back to life. That was a simple process, because it is more complicated. It is more difficult to restore the faith of a man in himself than it is to bring him back to physical life. And it's all this complicated this and that and here and there and up and down and in and out, just to get you to see that there's no thing to fear. And faith is not fearing, it's removing the faith of negative things happening. So we are removing the fear of being cringe, the fear of looking stupid. Ew, look at that cringo. He's super cringe and gross. Ew, what did you say? Who would say such a thing? Oh, you think you're so smart, don't you? Ugh. Why don't you give your opinion to the class? Ew, not that opinion. Gross. And actual adults do this. And it makes you feel bad. But that says more about them than it does about you. And you are going to find the people who love everything you say. After this video is magnetizing those people to you. And every time that you feel afraid that even with basic things you're not going to be understood, you will, from this point on, chant inside your head, there are people out there with my same wavelength, and they are with me right now, and we are all together being misunderstood. And you will feel this togetherness, and you won't be triggered by this loneliness that turns you into someone else, that turns you into a pussycat child, scaredy cat, who does not know how to express himself at all. And the next time you think about posting something and you know that you should be expressing yourself more because you're after this monetary gain or something, you know that you need to speak in order to make it happen, speaking things into existence, but you're afraid of the outcome. You will remember these words. Speak to me from the deep. You'll say, speak to me from the deep in your mind when you're about to just throw something out there for anyone to find you, your creative self. Speak to me from the deep. And you'll remember those times when you randomly found something, someone with original thoughts that made you not feel alone anymore. And it was like they were speaking to you from the deep. Every time you feel scared to express yourself and start something new, you're afraid of being seen, you're going to remember, speak to me from the deep. And every time you're going out in your daily life and you are afraid, you just have the social anxiety, like, ooh, what if I'm burdening people by existing and I can't find the words to say, when you're like that, what you're going to remember are, it's their skill issue. If they can't understand you when you are just speaking exactly what you want to speak, it's their skill issue. And before you speak every time, you will say to yourself, it's their skill issue. It's their skill issue, and that will remind you that you can say exactly what you want to say, politely, yet firmly. And if they don't take it the right way, like those people when you were little, well then that's their skill issue, and that's okay. But That's not your skill issue. You're under the thrall. You have been until you watch this video, under the thrall of a dark hypnosis. That's basically a projection of a skill issue. There were adults who had a skill issue and they projected it onto you to feel better about themselves. But that is their skill issue. And we don't have to be bitter about it. Actually, you're the most bitter about it when you continue to not speak your mind. Because then you pile up all this resentment for all the things that you didn't say and you wanted to say, and you already know who's to blame for it. You're already thinking of them right now. You know who's the culprit, who shut your mouth, who closed your throat, who trapped your heart in a cocoon. You already know the people responsible. And when you just say it's their skill issue and not my skill issue, actually, instead of being bitter, you're free. And being bitter and mad doesn't even cross your mind anymore, because there's not this pent up resentment of the being repressed and suppressed about things not coming to be that you know are meant for you because you could not speak them into existence. And as you are not speaking them to existence, you are connecting in your mind with the culprits, with the people who traumatized you, and then they're re-traumatizing you literally in that moment. It kind of exceeds space-time on this astral plane, in which they are doing violence against you that makes you freeze up. So anyway, but that's fine if you realize that that's their skill issue, and you say before you want to speak, anywhere, in real life, on the internet, wherever, that it is their skill issue if you're not understood. And most people are not having such a skill issue, so you'll be fine. If you happen to hit the jackpot on one of those skill issue people, well, that's just an energetic buffet, and you know now how to alchemize it, because when you find one of those people, you can say to yourself, after you do find the skill issue person, it's an energetic buffet, and you can just feast upon them. Just feast upon them. You can just take their energy, because you won't even feel bad about it. They don't need that energy. They're not doing anything good with it. Trust and say it's an energetic buffet, and just feast. And this is how. After you watch this video, you are going to have some dreams, and in those dreams, you will see heart imagery, and that is how you will know that your heart has been unlocked in the wise way, not in the way where you are vulnerable and gonna be a scaredy cat ever again. So, this has been a production of Sleepy Sadie. Thank you for watching. And remember the 3 magic phrases, which are speaking out from the deep, it's their skill issue, and the energetic buffet. And you will be a scaredy cat no longer.